Hey. So Pikmin 4 is right around the damn corner, coming out tomorrow actually, or in 2 days depending on when I upload this video, but it's coming out very soon on Friday and I am very excited for it. Pikmin has always been one of my favorite franchises. It's been a childhood franchise of mine, with Pikmin 2 being a childhood game of mine. So I'm very excited to see what Pikmin 4 has to offer. It's been almost, I think it has been 10 years since, Pikmin 4 was first announced, saying it's nearing completion, and we heard absolutely nothing for it for a decade. But Pikmin 4 is about to be out, played the demo, loved it, so I just wanted to go over a couple of my thoughts about it before it actually fully comes out. Now, Pikmin 4 is incredible. I am so glad that they're bringing back the underground caves. The caves are my favorite part of the whole series actually, and it is a big reason why I like Pikmin 2 so much, because of the underground caves. There's just so much to explore and it's incredible. So I'm already excited about that. I think it's cool that we finally get to explore inside of like an actual modern house. So Pikmin 4 takes place in like a house, and the yard and everything, the garden, whatever, like an actual house, which is kind of cool because we know Pikmin takes place on like a post-apocalyptic Earth, where humans have gone extinct due to, I think it was like nuclear warfare. I'm pretty sure there's some lore behind it, I don't remember, but humans are extinct and a lot of their stuff is left behind, and it's kind of cool to see like we're actually exploring a house that a human lived in. So I mean, and it kind of looks like people still live here based on like the condition that the house and the yard is in. It looks like people still live here. So who knows, maybe we might see a human throughout the game, and that's like a final boss is like a baby or some shit. But yeah, I think the setting is very cool. The customizable captain I actually don't really like all too much. I'm all for customization in games and I'm ecstatic every time they have it, but for some reason I don't really like being able to customize my own captain in this game. I don't know, it just kind of feels weird not playing as Olimar or just like a dedicated captain. But I'm glad it's still here, I'm just not really a big fan of it. Speaking of things I'm not a big fan of is the auto lock-on feature in Pikmin 4. I'm not really too sure why they did this. I guess it's to make the game more accessible to newcomers and more friendly to newcomers, which I think is a good and a bad thing, which I'll get to in a minute. But the auto lock-on is very jarring when I've been so used to freely throwing Pikmin wherever I want with gyro or whatever. Kind of jarring not being able to do that, and I have to auto lock on, especially when there's like a lot of enemies and I can't choose which one to throw on, or there's a lot of stuff to pick up. I can't choose which one I need to throw my Pikmin on. It's kind of weird. And what's even more confusing is that there is no toggle. There's no way to turn off auto lock on. Like in the settings, there's no way to toggle. So maybe that was just for the demo, but also Alex from Nintendo Life played the full game and there was still auto lock on. So maybe that's just an early build. Maybe there's going to be a day one patch. I really doubt it, but I'm not really sure why there's no option to turn off auto lock on. And another thing kind of related to that is when you're throwing Pikmin or charging Pikmin at an enemy or at an item, it kind of buffers from when you can throw more. So say an enemy costs 5 Pikmin to carry. So if you're just mashing A to throw your Pikmin at the corpse, once you've thrown 5 Pikmin, the game will like keep you from throwing more Pikmin for like a second or two. It'll like add a buffer, so you'll keep throwing and it'll stop. You can keep mashing A, but you won't throw anything for like a second or two, and then you can keep on going. Same with charging. You charge your Pikmin, only the minimum amount required will grab it. I'm not really sure why that's there as well. Maybe to help manage Pikmin more. And I mean, it does kind of help if you want to just have the minimum and don't want to sit there and count them out individually. But it is kind of jarring when I'm so used to just swarming all my Pikmin to grab something with the maximum number that can be carried. And it's not really too big of a deal since it's just like a second or two delay. So it's really not that big of a deal, but it's just kind of throws me off at first. I'm sure I'll get used to it, but I still prefer being able to freely throw my Pikmin and, you know, as many as I want and not having auto lock on. But there's nothing else I really dislike about the game other than the auto lock on and the buffer, I guess. At first, I wasn't a big fan of Ochi. It was like, yeah, they're just starting to put dogs in here. I don't have an issue with dogs. I love dogs, but just dogs in games just kind of feel off to me, especially in a Pikmin game. A dog in a Pikmin game is like, okay. And then I played the demo and I realized Ochi is actually kind of broken. All right, he can do everything a Pikmin can do, if not better. There's some upgrades to where you can upgrade him so he can carry stuff on his own. So it's like, you know how purples can carry, you know, 10 times, you know, a Pikmin can. So if you have a regular, like a red Pikmin, it counts as 1. A purple Pikmin counts as 10. And eventually you can upgrade Ochi all the way to count up to 100. So he can carry literally anything on his own, even the biggest stuff. Maybe there's over 100. There's like stuff that requires over 100, but Och can carry up to 100. So you can do that. You can increase the amount of damage he does, and there's so many different things. Och is kind of broken. He was like the purples of Pikmin 4. You know, purples were absolutely broken in Pikmin 2. That's Ochi in this game, but even worse. So maybe they'll balance. I don't think they're gonna nerf him or like balance it. I mean, this isn't like an online game. How are they supposed to balance it or patch him? I mean, nerf. But yeah, Ochi is very dumb in this game. At first, I wasn't really feeling him all that much, but now I kind of like Ochi. He's kind of cool. I'm excited. New Pikmin types. You got Ice Pikmin and Glow Pikmin. I'm excited for the night exploration. That is going to be really dope to see because the whole series, you know, nighttime is scary. We gotta go up into orbit so we don't get fucked by the hostile night creatures. But this time we'll actually get to explore at night and, you know, even have Glow Pikmin to help us throughout the night, which is cool. And the little swarming ability is cool. Purples and whites are back. I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to balance purples in this game, since they're obviously not going to be anywhere near as broken as they were in Pikmin 2. So I'm kind of curious, and I'm also kind of curious what whites, what their secondary ability is going to be, because in Pikmin 2 only white Pikmin could, you know, uncover buried treasures, and in Pikmin 4 any Pikmin can do that now. So I'm curious because white Pikmin are already invulnerable to poison. They're immune to poison. So are they going to give them like a secondary ability in order to accommodate for them not being the only ones to carry or dig anymore? I'm curious on that. So, but yeah, I'm really excited for this game. The music is gorgeous. I'm so happy that they brought back a lot of sound effects and music from Pikmin 2. That really hit me hella hard with the nostalgia, especially with the Pikmin 2 boss theme. I'm so happy that's back, and the remix of it sounds so good. And then we got the, you know, the end of day theme. That's also very nice. And just a bunch of little Pikmin 2 jingles and music is back, which I am so happy for, because Pikmin 2 is my favorite game in the series, as it was my first. I've played the longest, so much nostalgia. But yeah, the caves are great. I love the caves. Some of the caves are incredible. They look like entire labyrinths, I guess. The caves are like really well designed, and just the backdrops of them are also really show how big they are, and just the sense of depth you get from being in there. They're all really so damn cool. They're great. I love the caves. A lot of enemies are returning. We saw in the trailer, we saw an armored cannon beetle. We'll see a lot of new enemies like that fruit elephant thing. And it's just so cool. I'm so excited to go and explore inside the house, like the kitchen and everything. Imagine what the basement is going to look like, or the attic if we get to go in there. Imagine we go into a child's playroom and there's like a bunch of different blocks and everything else, and like all these toys and everything we can climb up on, solve puzzles on. Everything's gonna be so cool. I'm excited to see all the different areas, because it looks like in the demo we're exploring the backyard. Obviously we're going to go inside the house since we were in there with Olimar at the beginning. Maybe we'll go into the front yard, upstairs, downstairs. Maybe we'll go inside of a car, something. I don't know. I'm so excited to see what this game has to offer. I'm so excited for this game. Anything else? I mean, it's cool that they're taking on more of like an RPG role for Pikmin now. I prefer the old formula, you know, oh, crash on P&F 404, we gotta find a way to get back home. Like, sending out rescue corps to go save Olimar and the other castaways is really cool, but it kind of like it kind of shifted the focus off of Pikmin and more on like the rescue core theme itself, and like, oh, we gotta rescue Olimar and the castaways, The story more focus on the rescue mission than it does on the Pikmin themselves, which makes sense because you can only crash land on the planet, find this, you know, the Pikmin species only so many times, and technically fifth game in, it would kind of get a little old. So I understand the shift from it, but I do like the older formula of doing it. This game takes on way more of an RPG type of style, since we got a lot more dialogue between characters. We get to upgrade Ochi as well as ourselves, and there's just a lot more RPG elements, which I am not complaining about. But the HUD looks very nice. I don't like the new day meter at the top left corner. It's like a meter, where in the previous Pikmin games it was just all along the top of the screen, just the dots with the sun logo slowly moving. I prefer that because, you know, nostalgia is what I'm used to, but this sun meter is actually also pretty cool. Another thing I do like is that when Pikmin are standing idle, they will come back to you if you stand within a certain radius of them, so you don't actually have to physically touch them anymore. You can just stand in the radius or like get close to them and they'll come back. That is also very, very helpful. And yeah, there's just so many incredible quality of life improvements to this game, which makes sense. It was 10 years in the making. Same with Pikmin 2 to Pikmin 3 was like, what, 9 years? 10 years, I think? And Pikmin 3 was like the most polished and best game in the series. Like, Pikmin 2 is still my favorite, but Pikmin 3 was by far the best with quality of life, the resolution, the gameplay mechanics. Everything was just so polished because they had so much time to work on it and iron out the kinks. So Pikmin 3 came out to be a very polished game, and it took just as long to develop Pikmin 4. So I'm excited to see what they could do with Pikmin 4, since they can only improve from Pikmin 3. And so far from what I've played in the demo, this game is phenomenal. All the quality of life and everything is just incredible. That's insane. But I just remembered another thing that I'm not really a fan of is that we can only have 3 types of Pikmin out at a time, which, I mean, I guess makes sense because in 2 and 3 we're allowed to have 5 Pikmin out at a time, but that's because there are only 5 Pikmin in the game, with purples and yellows, or purples and whites in Pikmin 2 along with red, yellow, and blue, and then rock and winged in Pikmin 3, so we can only have 5 out at a time anyway. But in this game there's going to be 7, technically 8 with glow Pikmin, but you can only use them at night, so 7 Pikmin we can choose from. 8 actually, because the ice Pikmin, so there's technically 9 types, but with 8 we can choose from. There's no way we're gonna have all 8 out at a time. We would barely have any Pikmin out of each. We'd only have like, what, 12 maybe of each, and then 1 extra for 4 different types. So 12 of each Pikmin isn't really a whole lot, so they kind of had to limit it to 3 each. But then again, why not if we have 3 each, then it's still going to be uneven because 33, 33, and 34. Maybe that's just my OCD speaking, but it is going to kind of throw me off a little bit that we have an offset number instead of just a clean 20 across the board when we had 5. So who knows, maybe they'll increase the Pikmin count past 100. Maybe that's the thing, because we have Farlicks now, to where Farlicks actually increase the number of Pikmin we can take out on the field at once. I think we start off at 25 or 30, either one of those, but every time we get a Farlick, we are able to have 10 more Pikmin out on the field. So maybe it'll go past 100 and we can get up to 150 or even 200, and that will kind of help with only having 3 out at a time. I don't know, I doubt having more, because having more than 100 Pikmin out on the field at a time is going to be a lot to manage and take care of. But this is also a very big game. Speaking of that, the areas are huge. All right, just the first area itself, there's not too much to explore, which makes sense since it is the starting area. It's also very, very big. It's gonna take a couple days just to explore an area completely and get all the treasures and everything. It's gonna take like 2, 3, 4 days. Like first time going, it's going to take like 3 to 4 days. The areas are huge and there's a lot to look at. The game is very, very pretty, all right? And just the way the characters interact with the environment is just so cool. Everything just flows so well together. It's amazing, all right? Pikmin 4 is going to be incredible. Oh my god, I cannot wait to play this game. And the whole Dandori thing is actually really cool. At first, I was kind of put off from Dandori battle. I was like, okay, this doesn't really interest me. I just want to, you know, go around and explore. But then I actually did the Dandori battle with Olimar, and I was like, damn, this is actually really fun. And being able, having to use your time wisely to manage everything to get as much sparklium as you can. It's really cool. The Dandori fights are fun, and thankfully there is like you can play it on the title screen. There's an option for on the title screen for Dandori battle. So if there's like online multiplayer for this, I am definitely playing that like a lot. So because every game has had, I think only Pikmin 2 and 3 had like a multiplayer thing with mission mode in Pikmin 3, and then the subject or objectively superior challenge, the 2P battle in Pikmin 2. That was great. I played that with my sister so many times. But I'm hoping that the Dandori battle in Pikmin 4 has online functionality, because that would be incredible. So much replayability just for that alone. But I am very curious to see all the areas for Pikmin 4, how big they are, how many treasures. It's kind of worrying that the game will be short, because I think Russ, one of the characters who basically runs the treasure hoard, we get to see all the treasures. One of the side quests is to collect 50 treasures, and when you look at the treasure hoard, there's only 50 in there. So I don't know if it's just 50 at that point in the game for like that quest specifically is to get 50 treasures, or if there's only 50 in the entire game. And I don't know, do fruits count as treasure like the inanimate objects are? I don't know. But if there's only 50 treasures, that's kind of worrying, because that's the least amount of collectibles that have been in any of the Pikmin games, minus Hey Pikmin, it didn't have any. Well, it did. I'm not sure how many it had actually, but I'm sure it was more than 50, because Pikmin 1 had 30 ship parts, so less than 50. But Pikmin 2 had 201 treasures, and then Pikmin 3 had 61 fruits, or 66 fruits, I think. So if there's only 50 treasures, I'm kind of worried it's going to be a short game. But they could make up with that with making the areas absolutely massive, which it looks like they are, considering we get an entire house to explore. So I'm so excited to just play this game and see everything it has to offer. But yeah, I guess that's really about it. I think I talked about everything I wanted to, but knowing me, I'm going to forget and remember something that I should have mentioned after I already upload this video. But yeah, that's really about it. So I'm so excited for Pikmin 4. I'm going to be dumping all of my life into that game. So don't expect too many uploads for like the next week or two, because I'm just gonna be no lifing Pikmin 4. But yeah, that's really about it. So as always, thanks for watching. Have a damn good day. Stay safe, be well, and play some goddamn Xenoblade.